Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to one of the great cities of the world, London, England.
Here's Will Lutz ready to get this one started.
And we are underway here in London. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Now Hall to start the drive.
The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down.
From the lineman to the guy running with it, that was a well-executed first down by the offense. With 2 shots left to get the first, you can get a little aggressive here on second down if you want and try for some bigger yardage.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Now Fields.
He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd.
But just 2 plays in, and Charles already their first sack defensively.
Yeah, how about that? That didn't take long, did it? And now they look at 3rd down, and that's another time to try and go and get the quarterback too.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
This one deep for Wilson.
And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
And that might have been a situation where even though you don't hit on the deep throw, you at least put in the defenders' minds early in the game that we're going to press the ball deep against your secondary. And that can have a ripple effect on how they function throughout.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. It's a 44-yard punt, just 3 on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line.
Nix to the air.
A short throw to Ingram. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
2nd down and 6 now. On play action, here's Nix.
And that is incomplete.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6.
To throw, here's Nix.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride.
And he will have a Broncos 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down, executed it to perfection. On 1st down, Harvey, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
There was Will McDonald bursting in there and making that play.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Harvey. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That burst good for 20 and a 1st down.
That's a very nice game there. A confidence-building run. Love the execution up front, and the way he pressed the hole, absolutely perfect.
So in jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Now a handoff up the middle. It's Harvey, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Nix from the shotgun.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
As we both know, there was a lot that went into why they made him their first-round pick this year, and part of it was what they saw in college, his playmaking ability when things break down. As soon as he saw he wasn't getting a lane to throw, he pivoted and found an alternate way to the marker.
Here's Nix. Open man is the tight end, Troutman.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that will bring up second down.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice, easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Second down and 3. To throw is Nix.
He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete.
And the Broncos are going to have a first and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5. Well, no question, this is exactly how they wanted to start this football game. And nice pass there. Now they're set up beautifully, Charles, to finish this off with a touchdown.
Yeah, but they've still got to finish it off, partner, and that means they've got to execute at this stage of the field. So we've seen many teams march it right to the goal line and not cash in. They've got something dialed up here that puts it in the end zone.
Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is second down.
Not a whole lot there after the penalty, but remember, it was 1st and 5, not 1st and 10. So now they can keep grinding out first downs, and good things can happen for them. Just 2nd and short coming up.
Second and goal from the 1. They'll try to run this one in, and he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. Punching it in from a yard away.
And the Broncos will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. So that a great sequence for these guys to begin the ball game. They force the punt on one end, then come right down the field and score on the other.
And that's a great example of leaning on each other and building a little momentum that way. How about the defense forcing the punt, turns it over to the offense with confidence, and they take it downfield and score.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Now a crease here as he's past the 30.
And what a return. Great field position all the way out to the 48 there.
Back onto the field come the New York Jets for their second drive. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
But you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3 and out.
And now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here.
Not a great start dropping his first target, but let's face it, it won't be his last chance because he'll get opportunities to make up for that one throughout this game.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Straight ahead is Hall.
And he'll be down close to the first down marker as he gets this to the Broncos' 43-yard line. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They'll run with Hall.
And he will have a first down here at about the 40. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
That's a tremendous group effort there because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall.
And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
They'll go again with Hall.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
40 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Now it's Fields.
His throw incomplete.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Hall on a give up the middle.
And they'll get him down right around the 16.
They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
From the gun on 3rd down, Fields. Outright, he's got Ruckert. And the Jets are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
One of the tight ends comes in motion.
They'll run with Hall.
And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal.
One more time with Hall.
And another negative play there as they stop him again. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's 3rd down now.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Now Fields on 3rd and goal.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. And his kick is indeed good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
So after the made field goal, here's Carlson to send it away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
So now the 2nd drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other. I think we all suspected that they were going back to him after he found the end zone on his last carry, and they kept the positive momentum going there. Another nice run by him.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos 1st down.
We know they have these RPOs in their playbook, and look, we're seeing it here in the first quarter. You think we're going to see it as the game continues?
They trotted them out early for a reason, partner. They're letting them know that this is in the arsenal, and we rely on it. You better be prepared because this is going to be an all-day affair trying to stop them.
And no room that time, getting it to about the 46.
The tackle by Quincy Williams.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Throw left side, complete to Ingram. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 41-yard line. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Broncos football as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. Throwing Nix. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here on this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Now it's Nix. A short throw to Ingram. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a 1st down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the 1st down.
Off the play fake, Nix. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Nix once more. He's going to air one out. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep, try and throw some air under it, and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
They'll look to throw again. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he will not make it to that imaginary yellow line as they get him to the ground at about the 23. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the 1st down.
They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one.
That was 4th and what we would call long in that situation, wasn't it? That wasn't 4th and inches, was it?
No, I mean, you get in those situations 4th and 3, 4th and 4. That's a lot to, what would you say, a lot of pizza left in that box.
It certainly is. Not everyone dove in on that one. In today's NFL, this is a passing down. All right, this is not a running down. That takes a lot of guts to call that play and even better execution.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Operating from the gun, Nix. And his throw here's incomplete. Cortland Sutton was the man he was looking for, but it's going to be 2nd down. Looking to throw. Nix. He'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up third down.
Third down and 13.
Operating from the gun, Nix. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. So this defense, they gave up some yards on this drive, but bottom line, they came up with a sack when it mattered.
And we know that every down counts, but let's be honest about it. People focus on third down as a real key down in any drive, any situation, and they took full advantage of third down there and made a play.
The kick by Lutz is good, and they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3.
So a nice kick there as they add 3 to the lead.
And from what I've seen so far, Brandon, I think they've been the better of the two teams here in the first half. So even though you want the touchdown, I think that's a nice job there to put 3 points on the board.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
And New York set to take the field.
Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
They'll give to Hall. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 48 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed, and he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40.
Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Well, if they continue to run the football this strong, right up the middle, I don't know if they can wait till halftime to make adjustments. They better find a way to get it done series to series. I don't know if they need to sub some guys out, bring in extra people, maybe change what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball. But right now, they're running the ball very well right at them and right up the middle.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be second down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And able to find Allen Lazard.
And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 23.
That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Well, that certainly has to feel good, and it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
And he'll manage to break a tackle and get this forward for a couple. It'll be second down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Ball again on second down.
And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12.
All right, so they got that one, Charles, against the center.
And let's remember how difficult it is for the center, because remember, he's got to snap the ball to put the play in motion, and sometimes you got that big guy on your nose. You got sometimes where he's coming at you at an angle. It's a difficult job for him to snap the ball and then execute his block.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
Here's Hall again.
Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Call it no gain there, and it brings forth a 3rd and long.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Quick throw there is incomplete.
Yeah, offenses always try to be smart about when they're trying to dial up a screen to the running back because they understand you can only go to the well so many times in a game without the defense starting to anticipate the call.
And they'll bring out Anders Carlson now to try the field goal.
He hit his first one, this from 44 yards out now. And this one is right through, and that'll bring him back within 4.
Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. And I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
Carlson back out there now to send this one away. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further.
And Denver getting set to take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a 1st down.
They've looked his way quite a bit, and in my estimation, as well they should.
Well, that's now 5 catches in this first half alone.
And he picks up another 1st down. He's been an important part of their offense here early.
Off the play fake, here's Nix.
It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, I could spin this negatively as he just got back to the line of scrimmage, but when you really analyze it, he took away a big play for the defense, made it an uneventful run because he avoided a sack and didn't lose yardage.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
So many times we've seen him try to escape the pocket and do something with his legs, but in this case, the pressure was too intense and he made the wise choice to just get rid of the football and make sure no one was going to get it.
The offense on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Operating from the gun, Nix. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Jermaine Johnson credited with that sack. And this is a quarterback who's already had success on the ground in this first half, but this time they're able to hem him in.
And it's always different when you rush a mobile quarterback as opposed to a guy you know will be right back in the pocket. In this case, you got to make sure the inside pressure and the outside pressure match, and maybe even a second wave to make sure if he squirts free, you've got someone to tackle him.
Just 34 yards on the punt there, no return.
And the Jets will take over.
New York set to take the field. Now they're about to come up on drive number 4, but so far just 2 field goals on drives 1 through 3.
Wondering if the head coach has talked with his offensive coordinator and said, look, let's go ahead and press this a little bit. I'm giving you 4 downs on just about every occasion to try and get this offense kick-started and have it culminate in touchdowns. You know, maybe someday to press it a little bit. This might be the case.
76 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
Here's 2nd and 3. A shotgun snap, Fields.
That's going to be caught by Josh Reynolds. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a 1st down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Out of the gun, they run it with Hall. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
Now a 2nd and 2. Hall again. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on third down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt, I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well.
On third down, here's Hall.
And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to fourth down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
On fourth down, Fields.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Jets try it, but the fourth down play doesn't work. And the Broncos will take over on downs.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44. Operating from the gun, here's Nix. Man open, he's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score.
Marvin Mims.
23 yards for the touchdown.
And the Broncos are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So remember now, this was all set up by the stop defensively on fourth down. That's what got them this great field position. And then 2 plays later, they're already in the end zone.
Yeah, partner, funny how it works like that, huh? That's a momentum swing amusement park style. Your defense comes off the field, bouncing, grooving, they're fired up, and it carries over to the other side of the ball.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Time for another drive here for this Jets offense. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. That's caught left side, Ruckert with it.
On the completion, and that's going to bring up second down.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, You put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
To throw is Fields.
Eluding the pressure right.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well, what we call those broken plays? You can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half.
A final shot before the break. Fields. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. Why not?
And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. And his kick is good. And that will do it for this first half.
And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. And the Broncos offense set to begin this third quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Throw left side complete. That's Harvey. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On 3rd down, Harvey.
And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely, maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
From this vantage point, they've got the lead here, so for me, that'd be enough to go ahead and punt the football and let my defense defend the long field.
If you go for it, you don't get it, then you really put your defense in a tight spot.
Yeah, but we never know what people ultimately will decide to do here on 4th and inches.
And now a low liner. I think he mishit it.
And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line.
A special teams mistake there, no doubt. Just 26 yards officially on the punt. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Back to throw. Fields. Reynolds with a catch out on the right side. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
A handoff for Hall. And they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. And even 100 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
Now Fields. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Got a man, that's Lazard.
And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 14. 23 yards the pickup there.
Now what we're seeing, this is much better from this offense because so far in this game, no touchdowns to this point, and what's usually a direct correlation? Very few explosive plays. That's been their issue, not able to make that big shot downfield or break one up.
Touchdown, Jets!
Garrett Wilson.
A 14-yard touchdown.
And the Jets have cut the lead back down to 2.
And that touchdown ends a streak, for lack of a better word, of 3 field goals that they put on the board previously. They finally cracked the code.
Yeah, they've been down there. They've been in enemy territory, as you said. They just hadn't been able to punch it in until that point.
Fields trying to throw for it.
Dancing to his left. And he'll get into the end zone, and those 2 points are going to tie the game. And with a successful 2-point try, the QB rolling out, I would imagine on the defense that makes it tough. When he goes out, he's got the option to run or pass.
Yeah, it really does. If you decide not to bring extra people or extra pressure, maybe you have to have a spy on the quarterback, someone to account for him, because oftentimes that is the unaccounted for player.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Denver's offense now set to go. We got a brand new ball game, all even after that last touchdown, so every drive now becoming a little more critical here in the second half. 1st and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there.
They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Harvey, and they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
To throw, here's Nix. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Oh, I thought he had that one, and that was nearly a big 3rd down conversion to give this drive some life. Instead, they're on the spot and help separate the receiver from the ball.
The Broncos send out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. Oh, it's a wobbler here. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Here's Fields.
He'll get this to Lazard. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup.
And that play came together really well for them as he found open space, makes the catch, and gets down to the 1-yard line. You know he's kicking himself right now. He thought he had a chance to get a touchdown and put that in his ledger. Instead, his team gets a chance to cash in over these next few plays.
That's into the hands of Reynolds. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Fields. This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's third down.
That was well played, but that was also an example of a corner who understands his coverage, realized he had support behind him, and could be a little more aggressive in the shorter zone, and did exactly that, knocking that pass away.
Fields throwing again. They'll set up the screen for Hall. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Now it's Fields.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
2nd and 10. Here's Fields. This pass complete to Ruckert.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4.
Fields now to throw. That is caught. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. That 3rd down conversion good for 23.
He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Oh, and that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Got a man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jets. Josh Reynolds. A 5-yard touchdown.
And the Jets have scored again in this 3rd quarter, this time to move out in front. Well, Charles, I think you and I both agree these guys were outplayed in that first half, and the scoreboard reflected that, but they've come out since halftime. They've looked like a different team.
And it makes you wonder what was said and done in that locker room because they've made some nice adjustments, and they're executing better. I think they got some fiery guys on that sideline that had a few things to say at the half, and now they've come out with a vengeance.
So now Carlson, after the touchdown, called on to send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here.
And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
That was a good forceful run, and it demonstrates why you've got to put your body on a runner when you're trying to tackle him. If you just go in there and just try and get him down with arm tackles, usually doesn't work very well, and we saw in that play, he'll run right through those attempted plays.
Here's Nix. Quickly into the hands of Mims.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
The result, a first down, as a quick slant gets him 14.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they've put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And he'll take it across midfield down into Jet territory. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Harvey, and he's stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on third down.
Haven't met a defensive coordinator yet that thinks 2nd and 2 is a fun situation to try and defend. Playbook is wide open for an offense, partner.
Nice job. Hold him to 1 after that 8-yard pickup on first down.
On third down, Harvey. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on third.
There are a lot of different formulas to winning football, but one constant over the years, winning on third down. That pickup there was big because they had struggled throughout this one.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Up the middle they go.
It's Harvey, and nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 36 on 2nd and 8. Throwing Nix.
They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
That close on third down, I think everybody probably expecting a run. Instead, they go to the air on 3rd and short yardage.
I realize this is a passing league, and they're liable to throw the ball on any down and distance, but that short, I do question the call. Run the football and pick it up.
The kick by Lutz is good,
And that'll bring him back within 4.
so the 3 points there, and CD, that helps him inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away.
And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
And New York set to take the field. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people were focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now defensively, you've almost got to get down to those starters blocks like you're a sprinter. Get lower than those guys on offense and find a way to roar through them or around them to get into the face of the passer.
Easier said than done, though.
Way easier said than done. But they've got to try something, because right now they're just cutting them to shreds.
Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he completes it to Wilson. Without the previous penalty, that would have been a first down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
From the gun on third down, Fields. Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big gain of 28 as the drive continues. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close.
This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Welcome back now here in London. It's Jet football as they've got the lead here, and we get set to begin quarter number 4. Here's a give to Hall.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
The Jets on third down. They're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
They failed once in this spot earlier, but the offense will stay out to go for it on 4th down. Oh, looked like they got someone to jump there. And if that's the case, this will be a first down. And the movement there coming from the middle of the line.
And you understand he wants to get off the ball quickly, but the ball's right in front of him. He has to watch it move first.
A lack of discipline defensively on 4th down, and now that leads to a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Fields. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
Now a 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Fields. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos are right back in this football game. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
To throw is Nix. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Right back to him on first down. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
2nd and 9. Now it's Nix.
He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack.
Quincy Williams worked his way back for that sack.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
So a tough situation to overcome here. 3rd and 17. Nix to the air. And that almost intercepted. Oh, they would have loved to have their first pick of the game right there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Oh, this defense knows. 4th quarter, they need to make a play. That one was ripe for the taking. Could have changed the complexion of the ball game, but it winds up incomplete.
And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. So a change of possession here on the punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
Now the Jets offense about set to take over as they head onto the field.
Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead.
Good starting position for the Jets as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
Well, it may seem a little unorthodox to some people. Got the lead, 4th quarter, yet he's still firing away. I think he believes that's the best way to go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, a lot of coaches say, let's just run the football, be conservative. He's sticking to his game plan.
No, that is his game, and that's what they're going to ride.
And a good physical run that time. He's going to wind up gaining 5 on that one. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Ball again on 2nd down. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30.
They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. Now that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6.
Fields, we know he has the good mobility. He flashes it there as he scrambles for the first down.
Well, there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the 4th quarter, picking up the first.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time. And that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
That false start knocks them back behind the 10 now as they'll try again, 1st and goal.
Back to throw, Fields.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown.
Allen Lazard
An 11-yard touchdown.
And the Jets are able to build on to their fourth quarter lead.
Man, he just ran a terrific route. Extremely hard to defend when it's run that precisely and the ball's delivered that accurately.
Carlson's extra point up and good.
And that pushes the lead up to 11.
So after the made field goal, here's Carlson to send it away. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return.
Now the Broncos offense, they get set to head back onto the field.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean,
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Fortunate to get that football back, because trailing here in the second half, last thing they needed was to lose the possession.
And the word I think of here is opportunity, because it could have been lost there, their chance to score points. But the opportunity for the defense was to go ahead and really close this game down if they were able to get possession.
So they keep the football, but now face second and long.
Looking to throw. Nix looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Harvey. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I've thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's 4th down.
Well, that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out.
They'll go for it. Here's Nix. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
The rookie from Oregon on target with that one. It leads to a 1st down.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be 2nd down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown.
Here's a 2nd and 5. Nix looking to throw again.
Being chased out left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Jermaine Johnson
picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
I remember throughout my career hearing defensive coaches always say, guys, you've got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
And I think we'll probably see them go for it here on 4th down. No reason not to. Down a couple of scores, they have to try and make something good happen.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
They're going. It's Nix. Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
To throw, here's Nix.
And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Again, he'll drop to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Harvey. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty.
They'll look to throw again.
Over the middle, he finds Vele. Here's 3rd down and 5.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And this one is incomplete.
And they're at the point of the ball game now where they've got to take some chances. They've got to put the ball in the air and just see what happens. But this defense knows that all too well.
Now Lutz for the field goal try.
This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash.
The kick by Lutz is good, and that'll make this an 8-point game. Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
The Jets offense now works their way back onto the field.
And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few plays.
You're exactly right. They've got to get a 1st down and make them use up all their timeouts in order to feel like they have this one in hand.
We've got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on 1st down.
And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left.
The offense for the Jets ready to take over.
And this one now not quite over yet. Still 2 timeouts remaining defensively. And, boy, having that 3rd timeout would have really helped here.
Another example of why coaches really stress saving your timeouts for when you absolutely have to have them. They go over this all the time. Here's one of those situations.
Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down.
This is Hall. And he will have a Jets 1st down, and that should just about do it.
And they take a knee.
They'll run. It's Hall.
Busting through contact, Just wasn't a huge hole there for him to operate. Stopped just inside the 35-yard line.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball.
Fields down to a knee here, and that should just about put a bow on this one. Well, somebody lit a fire under that offense during the break, Charles. Remember, they trailed at intermission. They come out, they have the big second half, and that lifts them to the victory.
And Brandon, trailing at halftime, we always talk about teams making adjustments. You know what the best adjustments usually are? It's just executing better. Because the game plan you put in place at the beginning of the week often still holds. You don't have to make wholesale changes. You just have to do it a little bit better, a little cleaner. And they did that in the second half, and that led them to victory.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we say cheerio from London.